It is a 429.6 billion naira budget. Tagged the budget of consolidation, Lagos State's financial plan for 2010 puts a spotlight on infrastructure, promising that the amount will be used to complete and consolidate all ongoing projects and programs, while only feasible new initiatives will be undertaken. Governor Fashola described the 2010 budget as a critical bridge to achieving economic success in Lagos. This budget comes ahead of any other in the country, including the federal government, and represents an increase of 24.6 billion naira, which is a 5.3% increase over the 2009 budget. Economic Affairs took the bulk, netting 33.7% of the total budget. On its heels were General Public Services, Education and Health, with 24.58%, 13.98%, and 7.03% respectively. Once again, capital expenditure took the lion's share, with 250.8 billion naira, representing about 58% of the budget.
The budget for 2010 is being termed the budget of consolidation, to reflect the focus of that, of the budget, especially with respect to our capital, budget. The focus is on ensuring completion of the, various projects that are, ongoing.
It tells you a lot about Lagos State. For many of us, this is the most serious part of public administration in this country. Yet again, the state governor and his administration have demonstrated that by putting out a budget in a very, very timely manner, and a budget that's extremely well thought out. It's being pragmatic that whether you like it or not, you've got to ensure that, the state's base load of revenue, continues to be grown in terms of its own internally generated revenues. It's pragmatic about the fact that economic activity and increasing economic GDP, internal GDP of Lagos State, is really going to be critical to ensuring the sustainability of the administration's programs.
He also said the strategy that will drive this budget will include aggressive revenue generation, completing the ongoing infrastructure projects and the maintenance of the existing infrastructural facilities and institutional reforms in the state civil service. One of the major institutional changes will be encouraging the ease of land transactions in the state, making it more affordable for all citizens to acquire proper housing.
I think one of the things that was pleasing to hear, was, really the, the review of, of certain elements within the state, including the whole, sort of property, taxes element. I think, many of us have always felt that, property ownership is one of the most important ways of creating sustainable, value add, going forward. And it's not just important for people to be able to buy land. People must be able to develop it and be able to transfer it easily. There are some, natural and unnatural impediments in that process. And I think if we recognize that this is the most important, means of wealth creation in more developed economies.
With a projected revenue of 307 billion naira, undoubtedly the success of this budget stems from the government's strategy to improve its internal revenue generation capabilities. And a major part is the collection of taxes, aided by the launching of aggressive ad campaigns.
Payee taxes, pay-as-you-earn taxes, remain the single largest, contributor. So when we talk about aggressive revenue generation in that respect, that speaks to our continuing effort to bring the hundreds of, thousands of, taxable adults in this state who are yet not in the tax bracket. We think that everyone needs to make their own contribution, however little.
Also launching a 275 billion naira fixed bond rate series with the help of the private sector to aid the development of infrastructure, the state managed to raise 50 billion naira in the first tranche.
Certainly those funds have helped. I mean, they've all gone towards funding some of our capital projects. It is our expectation to conclude another tranche of 50 billion before the end of the year.
Lagos is an extremely well-perceived issuer, by fixed income markets. The administration has been a responsible one. And, there is essentially a belief that this is an administration and a government that's, entering into a contract with its people, and a contract that most people believe that it's trying within, different constraints to uphold its own, its own part of the bargain. And, when you have that kind of administration, then you will get the kind of support, that was witnessed in the first tranche of the bond. Not only did we see typical buyers of bonds, such as, banks, pension, funds, insurance companies buy it, we also saw a significant amount of retail interest, which was anywhere from Lagos State citizens to Lagos State residents to Lagos State contractors. And that says something to you when you see that level of interest.
But the governor singled out what he called the renewal of the soft infrastructure of the hearts and minds of the people as a necessary condition for achieving the objectives of this budget. In short, a change in the attitudes of Lagosians. Looking back on the achievements of the 2009 budget of accelerated growth, Lagos State government has managed to accomplish many of the goals it set, but the undeniable truth is that a lot still remains to be done to arrive at the dream to become a model mega city.